Welcome to the Intuitive Teacup, my friends. These tarot readings are meant to motivate, empower, and inspire you. Please keep an open heart and an open mind as you watch these general readings, as some material will resonate and some might not. Do have faith it is serving someone out there, and take away only what resonates for you. Please release the rest. Feel free to book a personal reading with me if you would like something catered specifically to your inquiries and energy. That information is down below for you. You are responsible for all actions and decisions and the vibe that you bring to this channel. This is optional advice or guidance, and of course, you will always have free will. Check the box below for my social media links, the decks I use, and more information on this channel. Let's hop into your tarot reading. All right, what up, air signs? Welcome to your Lil Sips Mini Love Tarot. We are going to do Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Timestamps are down below, okay? So let's start off with my Geminis. Let's connect to my Geminis. Happy New Year's, guys. I hope this video finds you well. So let's channel that energy of Gemini. Let's get 3 cards on the person they are thinking about and 3 cards about them or what the universe wants them to know. So Gemini, if you don't currently have a person, this might not resonate for you. It may resonate later too, so always be open to that. All right, Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. 3 cards for Gem. All right, let's do it. Interesting. So this is the same card that came up very prominently in Capricorn's reading. So you may be dealing with a Capricorn. That's the first thing that kind of struck me here. So let's see. Coming up in your person's energy. Griffin, honor, and good luck. Makes me think of Gryffindor, right? All those Harry Potter references. All right, then you have the Queen, love and prosperity. Beautiful, kick-ass card to get in your love reading. And then Spirit, unforeseen forces are watching over you. So this is a very beautiful card. This is saying that things are sort of in, I heard divine motion. I've never said that before, but I was going to say divinely guided. I'm almost thinking maybe like the ball is in motion, good things are in the works coming in for you regarding love and prosperity. Some of you may be anticipating motherhood or something of the sort. It could be even a significant event or moment regarding your mother. Honor and luck. So let's go ahead and throw some clarifiers on this. Immediately, I don't have tons of like sexy messages coming out. It's not to say that, you know, that won't make sense later on or what come into fruition later on. But let's, I instantly just want to throw some clarifiers on this to kind of take it in a good direction. Possibly something with a Sagittarius, almost get like Wheel of Fortune, good luck. So communications coming in. Page of Swords says, I think someone is interested in you, but they haven't yet communicated, but I think they will. It's falling out under honor and good luck, so it's almost like they're going to move forward with making their intentions known. I feel like whether you are male or female Gemini, I feel like you are being represented as the queen in this, in which case the griffin, or however you want to look at this, they're looking at the queen, and that's what I mean. I think they're spying. I think they're interested. I think they're noticing you. I think it's just a matter of time before they step up and communicate, so I'm almost getting the idea that it might be crickets right now. You might not even know that this person exists or that they're interested in you, but they are kind of in your network because I'm getting that they are seeing you. It could be, I'm almost getting a message of it, like if you're on the dating apps, for example, like someone keeps looking at your profile picture and like they're almost about to message you, but they talk themselves out of it. They're very not intellectual, but heady. They're very in their head about messaging you. So it could just be that they're a little bit insecure. They lack a little bit of confidence, or it's almost like they're afraid to make the first move, but ultimately I think they will. And I'm almost getting a message here that Spirit has kind of orchestrated this. You know how I always say, I feel like tarot is so that thing where you always hear messages about like, oh, well, it's coming in, but you're like, where is it? I feel like this is something coming into fruition that maybe you've been hearing about in your tarot readings, or, you know, not just in mine, whoever you're watching, where it's coming. I feel like this is Spirit, like, allowing it to come in and be a thing. So again, I mean, the timeline of manifestation, that is ultimately up to you. Tarot doesn't really tell me messages. This could have been someone you were interested or connected with in Scorpio season. This may also have to do with a Scorpio or a Cancer or a Virgo. Sometimes I get random hits about zodiac signs. But I feel like this is universe. I just keep getting this metaphor of like they're lifting the curtain, like curtain call. I heard. Any actors in the house? It's like the curtain opens and you see them. You're seeing I almost said performance. Interesting. So this person may actually come in, almost the idea of the performance, because they really want to, I'm hearing the word swoon. They want to make you feel all swoony inside, right? They want your attention. They want maybe your respect, your admiration. Those are very like Capricornian type vibes to me. So that could just be a timestamp of Capricorn season. But no, I feel like this person wants you to like them, quite simply. I know that seems like a, well, duh. But what I mean by that is that they may fluff themselves up a little bit because, again, there is something here about insecurity. Now, I have to be super honest. This is a positive message, by the way. I'm not getting this idea of, oh, they're puffing themselves up, they're peacocking, they're showing off, they're pretending to be someone they're not. I'm not getting that. They're not going to lie to you. But there's something about a performance element because I think it's like they are, I'm hearing bait and switch, to get your attention. Because this person may be someone who they don't stand out amongst the rest, but in the specific area, Gemini, there's something about it they want to get your attention. So they may do something a little bit different or a little bit eccentric or a little bit kooky. It's not that they're trying to be inauthentic. It's just they really want you to see them. That's the best way I can describe it. So they may, if this is a dating app scenario, right? It doesn't have to be. In fact, that whole metaphor of the stage curtain, it might be someone in show business or acting or something of the sort. Again, for some of you. Anyway, theater. Where was I going with this? Gemini, I lost my train of thought. Okay, if this is on a dating app, they may message you something very, I'm using the word absurdist, but like an opening line. I'm not saying they're going to use like a cheesy, like hit on you type vibe, but more or less it could be something kind of cheeky that you're like, well, that's different. Like, that's sort of the vibe I'm getting from this. Yeah, okay, this is absolutely confirming to me. What I was trying to express earlier is that tarot is also, oh, well, it's coming in, but it's not here yet. Oh, well, it's coming in, it's not here yet. I know you guys get sick of hearing that. This actually feels like something that has been coming into you for a while, but the timing wasn't right. Maybe it had to do with you. Maybe it was on your person's end. This feels like the culmination of something you've been waiting for. Now, that being said, let's be very hyper-realistic about this. It doesn't mean it's your forever person. It could be. That's up to you and them. But this is saying this is something that you've been working on manifesting and attracting into your life for a while. But patience has really served you. There was a crucial period of self-nurturing, of practicing self-love that allowed you to sleep peacefully at night knowing that you do have love of self. That's setting you up with a very solid foundation so that if love comes into your life, whether it stays or exits, you're still good. It's not going to break you if this person exits your life. And that's what universe is trying to get you to see. There has been a platform of stability you have been building for yourself for the last fill in the blank, weeks, months, years, right? This feels like the culmination of some sort of spiritual lesson for you where universe says, congratulations, it's been a victory. You see what I see in you, and that is a kick-ass person, right? This feels like because you've done a tremendous amount of work on yourself, because you have practiced patience, right? Because I almost want to say because you were Gemini, you've gotten out of your head of picking everything apart and being hypercritical of yourself and should I have done this or should I have said that? You've learned to simply take a breath and release the negative thoughts that don't serve you. There's no Eight of Swords here, Gemini. I'm so digging this. This is like the reward at the end of the tunnel, and I'm flat out telling you, this end of the tunnel, it feels like you're steps away from it. It doesn't feel like this is a projection 9 months into the future. And again, this isn't everybody's reading, but this feels very positive, and it feels like it is divinely guided. You have 2 angels showing up in your spread, so maybe that name is significant. Maybe that's going to mean something later. It could just indicate you have angel guides watching over you. In terms of major arcana, Gemini, all I have is Sagittarius, and for me as a reader, this is very indicative of Leo energy. It could be any zodiac sign, though, because more than likely, Temperance, which is a card of Sagittarius, if it doesn't have to do with Sag, it has to do with balance, moderation, equilibrium. It really is a card of self-healing. It comes after the Death card. So again, something about Scorpio season is significant in the timeline of events that led up to this. It could be that you connected with someone in Scorpio season, but it never really got off the ground. That may come back around. Or it's just saying you did some major upheaval. You did that internal work in Scorpio season where we metaphorically clean the skeletons out of the closet. It's like you purge the things that you didn't need anymore, and universe is like, oh yeah, like celebrate yourself type energy because you practice self-love. Okay, that's really the message coming through here. So then let's look over here. Choose your words carefully. The Sphinx, the cat, again a card of possibly Leo. It doesn't have to be. Oh, you have good romance cards. Yeah, some of you may still be holding on to someone from your past, and the thing is, I have no reason to give you yay or nay on that yet. I saw 4 of Pentacles, so clinging to something, and it had to do with love and romance. So it could be, it could go either way. I'm not going to make it something it's not until I see evidence of it, but that message is coming up, so. Minstrel, let your intentions be known. Choose your words carefully. And Wyvern, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Your secrets are safe. So this is about opening up. And again, the idea of balance and temperance, equilibrium, make sure you're open and vulnerable in sharing, but also don't share everything under the sun, right? There's a moderation as you get to know this person. I think organically you will want to open up. You won't have maybe those past, I don't want to say traumas because that's such a loaded word, but those past little like insecurities, triggers. That's the word I'm looking for of, oh my gosh, have I said too much? Oh my gosh, this is this is a weird synchronicity for me. I was watching this has a point, I promise. I was watching this show on Netflix, and it's essentially like sort of behind the music, but it's specifically about songs. So they did one on REM, and they were talking about the song Losing My Religion. And the Michael Stipe was essentially going into all the lyrics and what they actually meant, and how it was a miracle that song even got made, and this and that. And he was saying this whole thing about, well, essentially the lyrics are, oh my God, I've said too much. And he was saying it's about this person who's riddled with insecurity in a relationship, like, you know, talking themselves or spinning themselves out, talking themselves into a corner of loving somebody and then spilling their guts, but then retracting and saying too much. That's what I mean. I feel like for some of my Geminis, that may have been an older version of you where you were hyper aware and hypersensitive and, you know, protective of your heart, not wanting to get your heart broken. This is saying to me, your secrets are safe. Let your intentions be known and choose your words carefully. You know, make sure your words pack a lot of gusto, but there's a need for you to express your emotions freely. The musician, the artist, right? By default, musicians and artists tend to be kind of feely people, right? They have a lot to say, and they do it in a way where, you know, they exercise it from them, so it's not not manifesting, corroding, eating away at them. And, you know, it's like, rather than suppressing the emotions, they let it out in a very cathartic way. I feel like you guys are being asked to do that, especially through song, through music, through lyrics, if that makes sense to any of you. There is definitely like an inspired artist vibe to this. So whether that's you or your person, something, again, like actor, singer, dancer, something about that would be very healthy and cathartic for you to spend more time doing, and you may actually meet this person that way in a similar vibe and environment. Oh, Gemini, do I want to go down this rabbit hole with you? Let me tell you a little bit more about your person, and if I have time, I'll talk more about this, but anyway, it was like a side note on that Netflix series. I wish I could tell you what it was called, but you can Google it. It's like behind the music, but it's like behind the song or something, like, anyway. It was a very interesting series. I think I watched one on 9 Inch Nails and the song Hurt. Trent Reznor. Whew, swoon. Taurus. All right, tell me more about Gemini's person. Maybe your person's a Taurus. That would make... Oh, and there's the Taurus card. Or possibly a male earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Choose your words wisely. But let your intentions be known. Like, there's this, what is a good word for it? This yin and yang, this push and pull, the very Gemini duality, right? Male, female, dark, light, this like, I want to, but I can't energy. Universe is saying, utilize both. There's a reason why your brain is saying not too much, but there's also a reason why your heart is like, but more, love more. You need to use them both in balance. The cups go back and forth. Practice both. Don't suppress one, or else that's going to aggravate, trigger your shadow side. And we know we're done with that. We've graduated. Universe has said you graduated from that. You have someone very solid coming in, someone who has a lot to offer in a relationship, so don't self-sabotage. And I know that's easy for me to say, right? But you know what your triggers are, you know what your vulnerabilities are, and what you essentially like to put a wall up and not talk about. Bring the wall down, because there is sweet, sweet freedom on the other side of that wall. Now I'm seeing David Hasselhoff, the Berlin Wall. All right. Let your intentions be known. Talk about your career goals with this person. If they're the right one, they will support you. And not necessarily financially, but maybe, but you know, emotionally, spiritually. You're going to know you're with the right person when you can openly share your dreams and wishes and not feel self-conscious about them. Yeah, there's important issues regarding money here. So I'm going to say this, Gemini, if money is a trigger from you, whether that you grew up a silver spoon or whether you grew up, robbing Peter to pay Paul, whatever scale you're on, if that is a source of pain or vulnerability, you best be open with this person that, hey, like, I know this sounds so foreign to you guys, but the idea of being very open about your vulnerabilities, about your scars, they're scars. You've healed from them. They're always going to be there. They're going to remind you of your past and where you came from. But it's like you're no longer the victim. You've conquered the thing. So even while there may be, again, triggers or small things that bring you back to a place where you don't really like to look back on, understand it served you because it's been your building block, your foundation that's gotten you to where you are today. Don't run from your past, embrace it, and build from it, quite literally. You have excellent career and money cards, so I'm just going to say, Gemini, if you're casually looking for love, but you're also looking for a business partnership or something that really sticks the landing in terms of your career goals, this could be it as well. This could be a headhunter looking for someone who's going to be the perfect person to fill that new position. It could be something like that. Secrets are safe. So in terms of major arcana on this side, I have Virgo and Aries, just so you can see that. And then let's see, your secrets are, interesting, secrets about money. There's something about money here that's very important to you guys. There could be an inheritance coming your way that you're not aware of, or maybe you are aware of it, but it's not something you talk about. I mean, use your discernment. I wouldn't go around advertising that you have a huge lump sum of money coming to you. Like mum's the word on that. Don't block your blessings, but there's more. I don't know. I just keep getting, there's a storyline with money that was very disappointing or a hardship in the past that you may have. The thing is, I think you've moved away from it. In a sense, it's like you've succeeded, but it's still a little bit of it's a vulnerability. I'm sorry I keep circling around the same thing. It's because I'm not getting a clear message and I'm trying to dig to the bottom of it, but it's not telling me more. So some of you released I don't know what this has to do with your love life, but here it is. Some of you released a piece of art or a piece of cinema, filmmaking, a painting, a story, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be art, but more or less this is what I'm getting at. You feel like it was completely misinterpreted by the audience. And so there may be a sense of protection or sheltering your ideas from the public because you feel like your words are being misunderstood or twisted. This is really cool. In fact, I had a huge, I'm not going to say argument because it was all in love, but one of my best friends who's a Gemini, we got into this very heady conversation about, when someone releases their art into the world and it gets misinterpreted, who is the ultimate sayer of what it is? And he was saying the artist, you always have to side with the artist. And I said, I completely disagree with you, respectfully, right? There's a message here when you release something out into the world, it's very scary because it is essentially vulnerable. It's a piece of you that you're sharing with the world. Maybe this has to do with your heart, Gemini, right? Let's look at this in metaphor too. But ultimately, there is no, I remember trying to phrase it in a very particular way. You don't own it anymore. When you put it out into the world, as much as you can look at the copyrights and, what did the artist originally mean and intend by that, the point of it being art is that it's open to interpretation. And so I don't know why I'm telling you this, but this is the second time I've almost told you. And so it's coming out. So I'm just sharing that with you for some reason. And I do think it has to do with this metaphor of exposing the truth and then have the public, whatever that even means, being like, well, no, I think it's this or I think it's that. Okay, that's their truth. It's not your truth. You can always maintain your truth and it's almost like sorry, I understand this is a really unusual love reading, but I do think it serves a purpose. It would be a flawed system to think that anything that we produce with intent, there isn't a subconscious part of ourself adding to that masterpiece or that work of art to the point where we can't deny that we may not have been consciously aware that we were borrowing upon, example, when we wrote this song, we grew up listening to Elvis records. So by default, what if we accidentally, stole a riff or a line or some chords from an Elvis song? We didn't set out to do that, but a viewer saying, hey, that kind of sounds like Elvis. You can deny it till you're blue in the face, but if it's there, you can't deny that might be, do you understand what I'm trying to say? I have no idea what this has to do with your love life, but I almost was going to mention that to you about the whole REM losing my religion thing because that idea came up again too. This guy was saying that I feel like all my Geminis are we don't get this, move on. I'm gonna keep talking anyway because it's my channel, so see you next time if this isn't your video. Michael Stipe was saying how fans would write into him and say, oh, losing my religion, it must have been about this because of X, Y, and Z or whatever it was, right? And he wasn't saying no. He was saying, oh, wow, that's almost better than my interpretation of it. That's cool. There's something about being open-minded to this, Gemini, and yes, this is probably a metaphor for your career or your work, but even your love life. And I'm even struggling to grasp what it is, but this whole message came out for a reason, so I have faith in the divine that this is coming out so that you can hear it for some reason, and you can hear it and reject it, but I would challenge you to take that message and see if anywhere, where does it fit into your life? And where are you being too holy and too precious about your identity, about what you're sharing with the world, and having a certain set of expectations? I promise you, this is not me trying to get back at my Gemini friend to prove my point. I love him. He's like my brother. We're very good friends, but we got into this heated debate about it. And everything the other person said, we were like, I adamantly disagree, but isn't that awesome? Difference is what makes the world go round, right? But ultimately, I think what this is saying is there is no one singular truth. This may even have to do with something you were brought up to believe, that you held on to it as your identity for so long, and you come to think, maybe that's not me. It could even have to do with what gender you're interested in, right? I could even see that as a metaphor of like coming out of the closet or something really kind of beautiful like that. There's a shedding of the old skin and a transformation into the new, but there's also equilibrium in that there's also a denial of it. And I guess the universe is asking you, what are you denying yourself of? Anyway, Gemini. I know this was a weird reading, but I'm actually really into it. All right, so there's a King of Cups and possibly marriage. There's also a Taurus coming up here, a very spiritual, artistic, creative Taurus card. And also the idea of dogma. What have you been fed in your religion and your upbringing and your background, where you finally have this epiphany of, oh, no, thank you, I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid anymore. You know, there's a need to think outside the box and not take everything so literally, or the need to get outside of your head and only see your singular perspective on the matter. This is an important message. I know it is. And I apologize if I didn't quite do it justice, but I can feel I'm like grappling on the edges of it. So I hope that you can take this message and run with it if it truly is yours, if it resonates. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, possibly a long-term commitment with one. Some of you may even be exiting a marriage or a long-term commitment because, again, it's like you're not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore. You're not doing what you're told to do, or you have this awakening, this epiphany of how things are not always what they seem. Queen of Wands and the Nine of Swords. There's your tricky sword card. It wouldn't be a Gemini reading without one of those. Some of you feel like you gave up your power to a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sag, and there was this crisis of faith, or this crisis of identity. Who you thought you were when you started this relationship, it really swept the rug out from under you when you started to realize it wasn't what it seems. Nothing is what it seems. This feels like you fell down the rabbit hole. Alice in Wonderland vibes. But you were introduced to this whole new perspective, this whole new way of thinking, even this whole new way of feeling. So you have two kings, Gemini. You have fire, Aries, Leo, Sag, and you have water, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. So some of you will be going from one to the other. You also have earth here too. Gemini, I just said Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, whatever. So basically, because I accidentally said all the air signs, it doesn't matter the zodiac sign. It doesn't matter. There is an awakening here, though. Something catches your eye, and it's almost like a domino effect of once the truth is revealed on one thing, it's like everything else follows suit. It's like one in a row. It's something about, and in metaphor, it has to do with tearing down the perspective or the way you used to view something. It's arguably life-changing, but it does have to do with the way you view relationships and the way you've allowed yourself to love and be loved by other people. It's very positive. Gemini, I'm going to stop talking on yours. This one kind of threw me for a loop. This was all over the place. It's not a bad reading by any means. It's actually a really inspiring, good reading, but I get it. This reading is a little bit, it's a little bit kooky. It's a little bit Alice in Wonderland-like, but those are the cards I'm looking at. All right, Gemini. Hopefully that meant something to you, or will eventually. Please like, share, subscribe, and we're going to move on to our Libra gang. All right, let's shuffle. Or I could just, keep talking about REM for another half hour. It was a really cool show. I was really into it. And then the whole message came out in Gemini's reading. All right, let's do it. So, here we are. Libra, what's up? Happy New Year, Libra. Let's talk about your person. Let's get some clear and concise messages for Libra. The gate. The barrier keeps you from your goal. Oh, what a way to start. But this is coming up in your person spread, so maybe you're the goal. Libra. All right, the king, authority and diplomacy. So somebody may actually be very tied up with their career, and then hindrance. Fate has blocked this path for you. Oof. I feel like you had a spirit guide come in to essentially rescue you from a relationship that was not maybe the healthiest, Libra, or to give you some space and distance and separation from something that I think in time you're going to realize that you can aim higher or you can do better. A lot of you have a spirit guide who is a Pisces that is looking down on you, and you might know who this is. It could be an ancestor of some kind. Triumph over adversity. So it feels like a lot of my Libras may actually be going through a little bit of a challenging time regarding their relationships. I mean, ultimately, this is saying that your spirit guides are watching over you. You're not in danger. But I mean, trust your intuition over mine. Obviously, I'm not advocating staying with an abusive partner. I'm not really getting that. I think this more has to do with overcoming an emotional hurdle, probably of separation. It might even be from your Sagittarius or from your Virgo or Capricorn. Yeah. So it's saying you guys have had to cope with a lot. I know my Libras have had a pretty rough year astrologically. Most of you. Certainly that's not going to be everyone. But it's saying you've always come out on the other end, and this situation is going to be no different. You will come out the victor. You will come out having learned a lot of difficult lessons, but they are serving you. So this may indicate that you are repeating a karmic lesson or a karmic cycle, because when you end something or walk away from it or are broken up with, it's like you only start to do the internal work so much, and then it gets too real and too uncomfortable, and then you may divert to sort of like what I call like the Band-Aid. Like, I just need a person. Like, I just need like a quick fix of not being alone. And I feel like that's delaying the progress of what Spirit is trying to get you to do. It is about learning to stand on your own 2 feet, which, and the more I do tarot, I see it more clearly now. Libra, you guys always get that message because you are 7th house. You think in terms of partnership. When I think, and that will be your karmic lesson, just in life, you know, no matter what tarot reading you're watching. It is about becoming more self-sufficient and with a reliance on yourself, but being comfortable in your own skin independently, not feeling like you need someone to feel complete. Fate has blocked this path for you. A barrier keeps you from your goal, authority, and diplomacy. That even has Libra-esque tones to it. This might be with your Libra, too. The Hanged Man. You might be waiting on a Gemini, too. Yeah, it's like you're delaying an avoidable end. The Death card in reverse, card of Scorpio, by the way. To me, it's saying we've put something to rest, but we keep peeking to make sure it's not still alive. I don't know what that's a metaphor for, other than I only assume it's a relationship, Libra. All right, let's finish this up, because I'm going to admit this is kind of a heavy one, and I hope it's serving someone, but I'm going to give you another one just to see what else we can get from this. And then 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is about rebuilding yourself. So for those who are continually like checking up on or peeking at your romantic partner, this is saying might be best to just let this one go and have faith that the universe may know more about this than you do at the present moment. I do see you manifesting new love. I do see some of you manifesting a Gemini and a Pisces specifically from your past. There is a message here of almost wanting to revive the dead, and I don't mean that literally. I mean that you guys may be hoping and wishing for a relationship that has already exited your life and trying to, almost like Frankenstein, like it's alive. It's like you're willing all this energy into your manifestations to bring back something that has already exited your life. Help me out here, Spirit, because before I speak too soon. Is that possible? Absolutely, but I almost get this metaphor of there's a darker side of what's going to return. It's not going to be the happy, carefree, lovey-dovey thing that you experienced once, because you both have changed a lot. I feel like you have a few more steps to take in your individual healing process before maybe you're absolutely ready for new love. This may involve an Aries, and without going into a lot of berating energy, because I'm never here to do that, and I know sometimes it comes off as me like, you need to do this, this, and this, but like, I'm not here to judge you or criticize you, but ultimately with this message, I do feel like there's daddy issues here. Again, I so don't mean to offend, but the lack you didn't receive in your childhood from a father or from a masculine figure may be playing out over and over again in your romantic life, because subconsciously you're trying to win the love of your father or win the approval of your father that you felt you never had. Does it have to be a dad issue? Of course not. But this could even translate into your work. You may seek partnership with bosses who are emotionally absent or don't treat you right. That's sort of what I'm getting from this. And rather than kind of pushing it on to, oh, well, they never do this and no one ever values me, it's about looking at, well, why do I need them to value me? Why do I need their acceptance, right? And I by all means, you should absolutely value yourself. You should have a set of standards of what you will tolerate in a relationship and what you will not. What I'm getting, though, is that you're I'm hearing the word bendy. Like, you're willing to bend and twist the rules for people when you're first getting to know them, when it's the complete opposite. You should have your rules very firmly set in stone as you approach new relationships. I'm not saying you're going to be cold-hearted, and you never would. You're a Libra. But essentially, you need to look at the karmic cycles you're repeating, because they will keep repeating until you implement the learned lessons into your life. Triumph over adversity. That's what I mean. As much as you may have experienced adversity in your life, and I'm sure you have, Libra, it's about gathering the pieces back up and starting fresh, right? It's about gathering the pieces back up and making a positive out of possibly some negative scenarios. It's about becoming the victor, coming out on top, coming out the victor despite the obstacles, despite the circumstances. The universe believes you can do it. Do you? Yeah, you're falling back on an unhealthy relationship, and I do see that it's definitely left some scars on you, for better or worse, but you can choose to look at those scars as like a beautiful reminder of who you used to be and just how much you've changed and transformed. You're almost being asked to, I'm sort of getting like detective, like Sherlock Holmes, like dig even deeper, probe deeper psychologically into why things have happened in your life the way they have, and ultimately bring it back to you. Separate yourself from the people and try not to be critical of those around you, because it defeats the purpose. It's about you. So if you're going to be critical, it's about being critical on yourself. And also loving yourself, right? Not making excuses why you're not good enough or why you don't deserve love. Like, without failure, you are lovable. You deserve to love yourself and be loved by others. But where can you improve, and where has the shadow side gotten the best of you? Whether it's codependency or addiction issues or, fear really is what the devil is. Fear of what? Fear of being alone. It's time for you to venture into that darker headspace and understand why things are happening. And I'm even going to say this may be an excellent time to seek wisdom and counsel from a professional, whether that's a therapist or someone who you feel has a very good perspective on your situation, just to kind of do one final declutter. Then I think that would be very good for you, Libra. All right, we're going to do another one. Not to say that one was not relevant. I think that was super important. But yeah, that one was heavy. I know you guys are just like, tell me about new love in the new year, and I'm hitting you with all these like, not doom and gloom. That's not my intent ever, but Tarot is ultimately about ourselves, though. I have very mixed feelings about doing love readings, especially in like a general platform like this. I enjoy it. It's fun, but like morally, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I feel like it's like Mick Tarot, like McDonald's tarot. It's like, it's fast, it's cheap, it's good in the moment, but in the long term, is it good for us? No, because it plants the seed that, oh, well, tarot is about spying on the person you love. And ultimately, tarot is meant to learn about yourself. It's for self-growth, right? It's a tool of divination. So I just always like to interject that. Like, I'm down to do the love readings, but ultimately, it doesn't matter. I can try to read for love. Universe will always point it back to you and be like, but here's what you need to do. So anyway, here we go. I'm chatty in these air sign videos. I gave Gemini a whole lecture on losing my religion, the REM song. I won't go into that. All right, let's connect. Let's channel some of that Libra energy. Let's give Libra some messages of positivity, messages for their best and highest good about their love life in the coming month or two. What can I tell my Libras, please? All right, Libra, here we go. Ooh, Queen of Pentacles.
All right, so a lot of Capricorn energy coming in. Okay, and building of a family. So especially for same-sex female partnerships, especially with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, that looks like it's coming together. Others of you, it feels like maybe you had to block an earth sign or possibly another Libra in your life because there was unhealthy stuff going on there. It seems like you kind of had to turn your back on them. For a lot of you, it could be that you chose to engage in a third-party situation. And again, I'm not coming down on you. It is what it is. And I think in time you started to realize that you were always going to be the extra one or the third woman or the third party. And so as difficult as it is, I think you're starting to set more firm boundaries about I'm not going to be your side piece, like it's me and only me or that's it. And to that, I would say, awesome. You're starting to respect yourself more. Because, yeah, here's the thing. If that was your situation, I feel like this person may have promised you, oh, I'll get a divorce eventually, or I'm going to leave them eventually. I don't see that happening I don't know if I see that happening at all. Is it possible? Of course. But if your person is already married, I'm going to say it this way, too. This is a masculine, I can tell. If your dude already has a wife, they're a thing. There isn't side stuff activity that's going to improve. Now, others of you have a Capricorn who wants to offer you the world, but I don't know if you're willing to take it. You may have shut down a Capricorn who was interested in you. Yeah, your spirit guides are rooting for you. It's like your spirit guides are showing up to your space, to your energy, but I don't know if you're putting as much stock or investment in the messages that they're trying to send to you. It feels like the messages are there, but you're diminishing their value or you're just not listening. So, I mean, I can only tell you the obvious, which is you should start listening. You should start implementing those spiritual lessons and putting them into practice. Again, if that makes sense for your scenario. If you see it as a wisdom or guidance that is going to improve your life, loving yourself more, respecting yourself more, those types of messages. Because this says to me, you just heard diamond in the rough. You are amazing. You're like $1 million opportunity. Unfortunately, you've been giving your love and attention to people who they just have a mess of issues. It's not to say they're a bad person. I don't really love saying that on my channel in general because I think everybody has redeeming qualities. It's just sometimes the shadow side takes over and it's like a full-blown mess. You are dealing with someone like that who they have a lot to deal with on their own kind of spiritual journey, facing their own karma. It's not your problem anymore. So I think you know, for better or worse, I think you came at it with love in your heart, but you need to stop inserting yourself into their life as, oh, well, I'll save you. You need to save yourself. That's really what I'm getting from this. Because you have great value. Yeah, there's good luck with earth signs coming in. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This could be someone you met in primary school or grade school. I'm getting like very early on, like we're talking like 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade type vibes. Yeah, and then there's wish fulfillment there. So I feel like universe is like, now we're talking. Now you're seeing what I'm putting down. There is a message here with Pisces too. Pisces who is too proud. A Pisces who, a Pisces who's possibly regrets letting you go, but they're too proud to admit it. So that's what I mean. It feels like that would be barking up the wrong tree. Ultimately, this Pisces needs to come forward and kind of, get their life together and admit fault. I feel like they have trouble doing that. It doesn't have to be a Pisces, but it's very likely a water sign, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Yeah, there is a water sign here that's very conflicted about their love with you. So this very likely is someone who you're no longer dating, but you guys still think about each other energetically, psychically even. So what can I tell Libra about that? 9 of Wands. It's burdensome, though. There's a lot of fresh wounds there, even if this happened ages ago. So I think that says to me, you need to let the cycle close out and actually do the healing work. And maybe that's what this person needs to do. Something with the water sign will very likely come back around. The Sun card and the 8 of Pentacles says, in its highest vibration, it could work, but I think we need to sort of exercise the shadow side of or the damage that was done in that relationship and get it out of our system so that we're not holding on to the negative, pessimistic side of what happened. It's possible that if you both come back to each other as changed people and honoring and respecting yourself more, that has potential to take off. In the near future, I see something very positive with a Leo here for you, as well as maybe another Capricorn or an Aquarius or a Cusper, really, is sort of what I'm seeing with that. Yeah, there may be long-term commitment with an Aquarius or a Leo coming in for you. and possibly a divorce from a Taurus. It doesn't have to be, but a long-term commitment, there's a divorce coming in. So I'm going to say the same thing I said to Virgo. If you are not currently married or in a long-term relationship, this could be an ending or a divorce that does in fact indirectly involve you, but it could be that someone who you've always been aware of, somebody, again, you grew up with, you've known them since the 4th grade, if they've been married for 10 years, right, there could be some unusual shift in the marriage dynamic where all of a sudden, there's a divorce or there's an ending and this person becomes available again. If that's the case, and I don't always say this, but I kind of get the vibe that despite this person going through a divorce or an ending, they actually have a lot of self-respect and self-love. That's ultimately why they got the divorce. So it almost seems like they're the one who ended the relationship. So if they were to come into you with some sort of offer, obviously, put the vibe out, make sure you kind of understand where they're coming from. But it looks like this person is still able to practice healthy love, right? They're not coming from this place of, woe is me and I need a quick fix and someone broke my heart, so I'm rushing into another relationship. They did the work, right? They're coming at it from a very mature place. And I'm not saying you aren't, Libra. Again, this could be just something coming up to remind you of, just how far you've come. But it's like, if you can't pour from an empty cup, right? Make sure you are practicing self-love to set yourself up for success with a future romantic suitor. Something with a water sign, I am wanting to say is coming back around, or possibly something new with an Aquarius, Leo. Did I say Virgo? There might be a Virgo here, and possibly a Gemini. So if this is not your divorce or your separation, it may be exterior to you, but it's what's coming in. 6 of Cups, possibly someone you already know from your past. There's like soulmate energy here. You have both 6 of Cups and 4 of Wands, so those are very beautiful cards about building a solid foundation together and almost like a spiritual union, a spiritual connection. So, Libra. All right, that's what I got for you, Libra. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what resonates, and I will see you next time for more tarot. I am going to try to be more consistent and post air signs every Thursday around 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully I will see you next Thursday. All right, Aquarius, let's do it. Let's talk about your love life. And we'll try and be less chatty. Gemini and Libra got a lot of chattiness from me. So here we go. Aquarius, let's talk about Aquarius, this person. 3 cards. So possibly a Gemini or a Virgo or someone who works in the medical industry may be coming up for you, Aquarius. Let's split the deck here. All right, so, or a Pisces, yeah, the gates are opening, especially the gates of communication. It's very interesting. If someone has been silent or you just feel like they haven't been opening up, or they're kind of in the stages of like, I'm trying to get a pulse or a reading on you, but I'm not going to like dive in head first, I think there's going to be a relief. There's going to be openness, an openness of communication that's coming in, again, especially with your Pisces, your Gemini, or I almost said Aquarius, so this may also be a message about you. You may start to open up to your person more than you ever have, especially if you've been holding back on, I'm hearing the word secret, but I'm not getting like something that's going to rattle them to the core. It's not like infidelity secret. It has to do with something I think that this message has come up in all my air sign readings, actually. Something that it's like a point of vulnerability from you. It might be a trigger from your past. It's something you don't love talking about. It's something, you don't wear on the way you wear your heart on your sleeve or whatever. It's not that. It's the opposite. It's something you like to conceal. It's something you don't love to talk about because, again, it may be an issue that's very sensitive to you. I think as you grow to love this person and spend more time with them, you will organically want to share a little bit more than them. It might be about your past, specifically some sort of trauma with the mother. You may have grown up in a very unstable household or something to do with a mother who maybe, I don't at all mean to offend, I'm just sort of hearing maybe possibly a mother who had some mental illness or some issues surrounding the mother. You may open up to your person about that. All right. Then, let's see, winds of change. Your surroundings will undergo transition, so that's sort of in alignment with what we already said, particularly with your earth sign. Capricorn is standing out a lot here. So this could be any earth sign, though. I'm using an oracle deck this time. We'll clarify with tarot. Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo are all featured here. It says utilize logic, reason, and common sense. So to me, that's almost saying ask yourself why you're so hesitant to hold back or to not share with this person about, let's just be honest, like all the feels the touchy-feely stuff that, and I'm not at all trying to put you in or talk about you in stereotype, right? But essentially I am sort of getting a message there's something that you don't love to share, or vice versa. This could be your person that when you kind of go into the reasons why, you're going to understand, oh, because I'm insecure about it. Like, ultimately, that's what you can chalk it up to. But what I'm trying to get at is you don't need to make it this monster, this beast in your life that, you know, you're constantly living in fear of, how am I going to conceal it? And I don't want to talk about this. And when this comes up in conversation, I just want to shrink into it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not going to be that monster for you anymore. In fact, it's going to feel like a weight has been lifted by opening up, quite literally. Release the gates. Like, it's like, let the flood of emotion come out. And for some of you, it may quite literally involve tears. It could even be happy tears. But if that's the case, it's a weight will be lifted when you open up about this, or when your person does for you. So Aquarius, true to form, I always get, I shouldn't say always, more frequently than not, I get readings for you where you're already kind of in the relationship, whether you know it or not. Like, even if you're just casually dating, it's almost like universe already kind of sees you guys as a couple. So I hope that makes sense to some of you out there. And then Griffin, honor and good luck. Gemini had this card as well too, so you might be dealing with a Gemini. Yeah, let's go ahead and clarify with tarot. Seduction, passion, and romance await. Oh, poor Aquarius. That's a card you really hate to see in your love tarot, right? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, there's definitely a come hither vibe. So what I take away from that, I know you could read this from multiple viewpoints, but given where kind of this storyline is headed, I think whoever you're dealing with, I'm going to phrase it this way, because I honestly don't know who you are. I feel like you might be the one professing something or whatever, but it could be your person. Whoever is the recipient of this story or this traumatic childhood experience that the other person is very sensitive to share, when they do open up, the person who receives I'm hearing the story, the person who ultimately is like you guys know what I'm trying to say. My goodness, I'm losing my words today. The other person in the scenario becomes more attracted to you the more vulnerable and real you get with them. So in a very cheeky way, this card almost says to me, it makes you more attractive in their eye that you actually have something you've had to overcome. They see you as like a warrior, like you've had to overcome some difficult obstacles in your childhood, or again with a mother figure, and it makes you more attracted to this person because it's like you've been through some shit. You know your way around the block. You graduated from the school of the hard knocks, Aquarius, or vice versa. Your person, it makes them more attractive to you because there's just this realness, there's this rawness about them where you start to see the cracks and the breaks, and that they're not perfect and you wouldn't want them to be. It's almost like, I don't mean to romanticize the trauma. That's not at all what I'm saying, so please don't misinterpret that. But what I'm saying is the authenticity that shines through when someone shares something with you that is deeply personal and vulnerable, that forms even more bonding between you guys. It could have been a medical issue that someone has had to overcome too, like they could have been dyslexic, or they could have, something like that, where it was an embarrassing struggle for them, or something that they hold to be very, don't tell anyone, protect this, hide this secret. They start to unfold their story or their secret to you. Because they love you. Or you love them. Possibly both. Hopefully both. Yeah, this is the next level in the relationship. You guys move on. And I mean that in the positive way. Usually this is a card of moving away from somebody, just for me as a reader. But in this, to me, it's saying something like you've reached a new... You've reached like a new level in the relationship. And like, dare I say it's smooth sailing from here. It's like that plateau you guys reached, or that difficult situation where this person knew they had to tell you that thing that they never wanted to talk about, they finally do, and there's like I feel better. Like, I don't know if that wasn't so hard, because I actually do sense that it is difficult for this person to open up, but once they do, it's a victory. This is a very sexy card too. Aquarius, this is not a bad reading at all. I don't mean to focus on like the less sexy aspects of it, but ultimately it's tarot. It's trying to teach you or illuminate you to something of importance, right? Not just, hey, they're good looking, right? I mean, that's great, but... So then what is this? Winds of change. Yeah. I'm almost seeing, it's interesting. I'm actually seeing a paper boat. You know how they make newspaper boats? I don't know if they still do that. I feel like that's very old timey, but I'm seeing the wind blowing it. So it's almost like the beginning of an adventure. And something about that feels like it's a calling back to the childhood. Yeah, like sailing like a little paper boat down the river or in the pond, or maybe that's something you used to do as a kid or this person did. Maybe they have a traumatic experience of learning how to swim or something with water. Yeah, in fact, actually, that feels very important for some of you. Your person may be like deathly afraid of water. They never learned to swim and whatever. That's just, random confirmations for some of you. And it could, if it doesn't have to do with literal bodies of water, there could be a fear, not fear, but again, kind of shadow side stuff regarding a water sign in their life. A Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, that could be you as well. Winds of change. Yeah, this has 10 of Pentacles on it. So this potentially has a huge longevity. The seeds you guys want to plant together, you guys could really go somewhere with that. You could build a very happy life together. It's almost like the key ingredient is understanding that communication and an ability to be vulnerable in front of your person, that's really going to assist you in I don't know if it's getting this relationship off the ground. It already feels deeper than that, but it's going to strengthen your relationship. Some of you have, this may be an entirely different message. Some of you have graduated from the thing with the earth sign and now you're looking for new love. If that's the case, a lot of you are going to go towards an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or possibly a Pisces. Yeah, especially with the Capricorn. For some of you, you may be engaging with a new Capricorn. Others of you, I feel like you've been with them for a while and it just feels like you guys aren't on the same page anymore. So you may look elsewhere. Some of you are getting good news at work, and ironically, I'm getting I don't know what this has to do with your love life, but here it is anyway. You're getting good news at work, and it was in a job that you felt very uncomfortable in, like you may have had performance anxiety, like you weren't measuring up to the rest. Something about that, you actually get recognition and good news, and it could even been like you almost left that job, and like you stick it out another week, and then you get like Employee of the Month. It's something like that where you're like, I feel so suffocated or stifled in this environment. I feel so uncomfortable or out of my depths, inexperienced. There's something about that. There's honor and good luck. So it's like you get recognition or... recognition is the word that's coming to mind. I mean, again, more kind of Capricorn energy over here too, so... here's what that has to do with a relationship. Some of you are ending a relationship with someone who it ran its course, and I think I'm not here to change your mind, but I am getting a message here about you get this, how do I want to phrase this? Just give me a second. You get out of a relationship and there's finally reciprocity in the acknowledgement you get from this person who you're divorcing or breaking up with, that they actually really did appreciate you and they really did love you. I'm almost getting kind of a similar storyline, so this may go vice versa. It's like they were emotionally constipated or talking freely and openly about, I love you so much and I think you're so great and you did such, you raised our kids so beautifully. This person literally can't get out of their own way because they don't feel comfortable expressing those things. Ironically, it's after a period of separation or divorce, you get this small gesture of gratitude or recognition or like an apology, a thank you from someone who I think... I don't know if it's a maturity issue or again, it's like they grew up in a family where you just don't talk about those things. Almost like masculinity complex is sort of what I'm getting, like machismo, like, we don't cry and we don't feel things, we're men. You finally get something, especially from your Capricorn or your Virgo, of like, I don't need to make it overly cheesy, but it actually feels very emotionally overwhelming to them. Like they can barely muster the words to get it out because they're terrified. But it also shows a growth in that person that they finally recognize that they have some growing to do too. And so whatever it is, there's closure and completion, or at minimum, kind of like reciprocity for something you felt you needed or deserved in a relationship. You kind of get it later, but it happens with some time and distance and even perspective. Almost like the world, it's like you have the higher perspective now. Winds of change. It yields something very beautiful, but the thing is, I don't necessarily see that as you guys reconnecting. You could, you have free will, absolutely. I see it more as like a moment of pride for you. And it has nothing to do with needing people's acceptance. It was something you knew to be true. Like, you know what? I gave my all to that relationship and I was never appreciated. The thing is, I think Aquarius, you move on from that and start dating elsewhere, but almost just as a nice little gift from the universe. Eventually that person comes around and is like, I wish I had treated you better. Like, I'm sorry about that. And again, for you, it's just this like, it's just like this warm and tingly feeling. And you're also like, yeah, you should have. But I don't think you're going to ruin the moment by saying that. It's like this beautiful peace offering between you guys. It's very beautiful. That may also be with a Gemini as well. All right, so one more message of new love, and then I'm actually going to switch decks. There's a lot of energy with Capricorn, and I can see it going both ways. So flat out, if you know that you are dating a lower vibing Capricorn, they're showing up in your energy as don't be afraid to walk away and end it, because it probably wasn't the healthiest relationship. Others of you, I think you've already departed from a Capricorn, and they're kind of going through this whole, oh my God, I walked away because I thought the grass was going to be greener and it's not, and now I'm trying to find my way back into Aquarian's life. Like, there's a lot of kind of like, not head games, because that's not an appropriate term, but essentially with oneself. It's like, I don't know if it's Capricorn. It doesn't really matter the zodiac sign, but there's someone who, they made a false move about ending a relationship, and now they're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I wonder if they'll take me back. But I don't know if they're advocating, or it's not advocating, vocalizing that yet. They're thinking about it. They're being strategic about how to get you back. But I would make sure that this person has done their healing work first. Others of you, if there's no Capricorn in your dating history, it's saying, well, you've manifested a new one. And you don't need to be scared of that. These are two totally different messages. It's not saying that by dating a new Capricorn, you're going to get this mess. Like, I'm not saying that. It's just, there's something about a transitional period in your life that involves a Capricorn. So that could be a happy new beginning or a sorrow, sobering ending with one. But ultimately, it's setting you up for future success is sort of what I see there. All right, Aquarius, one more message, completely new message. Let's use this deck and we'll wrap her on up. I did better this time. I wasn't quite as chatty. Though God help you if you watch the Gemini reading. I go down like 5 different rabbit holes, but it felt like a really cool message. Anyway, and now I'm being chatty. Here we go. For Aquarius, let's see. So you had the World card come up a few times, almost 3 times with this too. You have Judgment and the World. So the 6 of Pentacles. So again, this happens a lot. I'll shoot for a new message, but it's really the same one. Ending and closing out a relationship where you felt a lack of reciprocity, where either you were putting in all the work and effort and getting little back, or I suppose it could be vice versa. If you had and the thing is, there is a recognition, there's a judgment, a realization, a spiritual awakening of the fact that someone was not giving their all. So it could have been you. I'm not here to shame you or make you feel bad. I'm saying that in the future, someone looks back on a relationship and there is remorse and sorrow. The thing is, it's on both people's sides, and I don't know if that's warranted. I do feel like the person who gave it their all, their shadow side is always telling them, but you could have saved it. You could have done better. And that's not true. I think this person is probably you, Aquarius. I think you gave a lot to this relationship, and it was met just with lackluster results. And so ultimately, I think a lot of you guys chose to end it and start a new chapter. But I think you still look back because you do ultimately have love in your heart for this person. This message has come up in every reading too. It's like you kind of know it's true love when whatever happens of this person, right? If you truly love them, you want them to find luck and love in life, whether they choose you or not. If you truly love someone, it's like, I wish the best for them, right? That doesn't mean you have to rush back into their arms, but when you break up with someone and you're not doing kind of the toxic, well, I hope they get what's coming. That's not real love. Like, that's ego bullshit. Like, that's shadow side, right? That was clearly like a karmic relationship, and ultimately the fact that you're feeling this anger and resentment, it's valid, absolutely, but you need to dig deeper and be like, well, why am I feeling this way? And what about them triggered me? And like, it really is about your introspection and your independent spiritual journey. Anyway, so here's what I kind of see from this. It's kind of the same thing. I think someone eventually is going to profess something that they have spent a lot of time thinking and contemplating about, facing their shadow side. I think they're going to open the gates of communication again with you. It doesn't necessarily mean you will or want to take them back. And flat out, some of you will. I do see you guys possibly trying to live together or move in together. Respect yourself, set good boundaries. Don't repeat the past mistakes that you guys made with each other. Hold each other accountable. But I don't know, this actually looks like it could be really lovely. It's just, maybe you met at a time where you both were a little bit immature and you had a lot of learning and growing to do about yourselves. And now you both have a more firm idea of who you are and what you want in a relationship. And so, maybe divine timing strikes and it actually works this time. Yeah, because you've always been waiting on this person, or vice versa. They've been waiting on you. This is absolutely, it feels very twin flamey, like literally looking in the mirror. That's what I mean. This person, for better or worse, made you recognize something about yourself that needed a little bit of, little zhuzhing. You know what I mean? Like, we're good, but I think we can do better. This person highlighted that in you. And for possibly some of my Aquarians, it was the fact that you're too giving in relationships. You need to set more firm boundary lines of not giving your entire love away, your bank account. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you need to practice better habits in terms of how much you share. It could be that you were sharing monetarily, energetically, but you weren't sharing emotionally, right? There's a lot of different factors in this. I think this person is waiting for a reunion with you. Page of Wands says there's still sparks of romance there for them. I think. If it's not that, it's the idea of rekindling something to heal it and make like a peace offering. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not typically one to always say this message, but I do see you guys, Four of Wands. There is kind of a soulmate energy here, so maybe it had to end and you guys had to break up for a reason, but it doesn't mean it couldn't come back around again in like the next chapter of your life, especially with the Capricorn. And that's all I really have for major arcana. Maybe a Scorpio, maybe an Aries, kind of like Mars energy is what I'm seeing there. So, all right, I almost called you Aries. Anyway, Aquarius, thank you for joining me here at the Intuitive Teacup. I am going to try and be consistent and post air signs every Thursday around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully I will see you guys next Thursday. Like, share, subscribe, and see you next time.